Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we unlock smart strategies to help you study smarter, not harder. If you're new here, consider subscribing because every week we drop tips to help you conquer school tests and everything in between with confidence. Today, we're diving into a topic that almost every student has struggled with at some point: multiple choice test questions. Let's be honest, multiple choice questions, or MCQs, can be sneaky. They might look simple on the surface. I mean, come on. The answer is right there in front of you, right? But here's the thing. Just because the answer is visible doesn't mean it's easy to spot. In fact, MCQs are designed to trip you up, especially if you're not approaching them with the right strategy. If you ever sat down for a test feeling confident, only to be totally thrown off by tricky wording and two options that both seem right, trust me, you're not alone. That's why in today's video, I'm breaking down the 5 most common traps that 99% of students fall into when answering multiple choice questions, and more importantly, how to avoid them like a pro. Stick around till the end because I'll also share 3 bonus tips to help you master MCQs even when you're unsure. Let's get into it. Trap number 1, thinking all wrong answers are completely false. Let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions students have: the idea that wrong answers are totally, obviously 100% incorrect. But here's the truth. Wrong answers aren't always completely wrong. In fact, many of them are designed to look partially right to confuse you. Let me break this down. When test creators write MCQs, they usually include a mix of, number 1, the correct answer. That's the one that fully answers accurately the question. Number 2, the factually incorrect answer, an option that's just flat out wrong. Number 3, the partially true answer. This one might have some truth, but doesn't fully answer the question. And number 4, the trap answer. It sounds really close to being right, but contains a subtle error or something to mislead you. This is what makes multiple choice questions tricky. A student who recognizes a familiar term in the trap answer or partially true answer might quickly choose it without realizing that it doesn't fully apply. For example, let's say you're taking a biology test. The question asks, which process is responsible for the production of glucose in plants? And the options are A, photosynthesis, B, cellular respiration, C, transpiration, D, carbon fixation. Option D, carbon fixation, might sound super scientific and close to the right concept. But unless you fully understand the difference between those processes, you could easily pick the wrong one just because it sounds familiar. So, how to avoid this trap? Train yourself to look beyond surface level familiarity. Don't pick an answer just because it contains a term or concept you recognize. Ask yourself, does this answer completely and directly respond to the question? Partial truths can be misleading. Look for the answer that's just not technically correct, but completely correct in the context of the question. Trap number 2, rushing through questions and making silly mistakes. We've all done it. You're under pressure, the clock is ticking, and you start racing through questions, especially ones that seem easy. But this is where careless errors are born. How this plays out. You read the first few words of a question and assume that you know what it's asking. Or you spot an answer that looks familiar and click it without reading the rest. Or worse, you miss critical words like not, except, or least, which completely change the meaning of the question. These are what I call sneaky word traps. They look small, but they're hugely important. What to do instead? Please slow down, even just a little bit. Read the entire question carefully, underline or highlight keywords, and pay attention to negative or qualifying terms. Taking even an extra 5 seconds per question to ensure you're reading carefully can save you from losing marks over preventable mistakes. Trap number 3, being distracted by similar or confusing options. Have you ever looked at multiple choice questions and thought, wait a minute, A and B both seem right. What kind of trick is this? This is trap number 3, when the answer choices are too similar or confusingly worded. Test makers often use 2 or more options that are really close in meaning, but only one of them is the best or most accurate answer. This trap tests how well you understand the details, not just whether you memorize keywords. For example, let's say you're doing a history exam and the question is, what was one major cause of World War I? A, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. B, the rise of totalitarian regimes. C, the Treaty of Versailles. D, the use of trench warfare. Now, a quick scan might tempt you to pick C or D because they're definitely associated with World War I, but only A, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, is the actual trigger cause. The others are either consequences or not directly related to the cause. So what you have to do instead is use the process of elimination. Cross out answers that are clearly wrong, then compare what's left. Ask, which of these fully answers the question? If 2 answers seem close, reread the question and focus on what it's specifically asking. Time pressure is real. Whether you're taking a standardized test like SAT, ACTs, your LSAT or GRE, a school quiz or certification exam, running out of time is a major concern. And it's easy to fall into this trap. You hit a tough question early in the test, get stuck trying to figure it out, and suddenly realize you've burned 10 minutes on one problem, while leaving easier questions unanswered. Or you panic about the clock, rush through everything, and miss out on questions you could have nailed. Here is how to avoid this trap. Skim the test first. Take 1 to 2 minutes at the beginning to preview the layout. Answer the easy question first. They're your quick wins and build confidence. Then, mark the difficult ones and come back to them with fresh eyes. Budget your time. For example, if you have 60 minutes for 60 questions, that's about 1 minute per question. Using a round strategy, round 1, easy round, round 2, medium, round 3, hard round, helps you stay calm, focused, and efficient. Trap number 5, ignoring your instincts and overthinking. Finally, let's talk about something that trips up even high-achieving students, overthinking. Here's what usually happens. You pick an answer, but then start second-guessing yourself. You go back and forth, question your logic, and eventually change your answer, only to find out later that your first instinct was right all along. Sound familiar? Research actually shows that your first answer is often your best answer, especially if you studied and feel reasonably confident. Of course, if you find clear evidence that your first choice is wrong, by all means change it. But don't change answers out of fear or panic. Instead, trust your gut if it's informed. Don't second guess yourself unless you have a concrete reason. Avoid rereading a question multiple times unless it's confusing. That often leads to unnecessary doubt. So, what should you do instead? Instead, please master these 3 core strategies. Number 1, eliminate wrong answers first. Before picking your final answer, cross out what you know is wrong. This increases your odds, especially if you end up needing to guess. Even if you can eliminate 1 or 2 choices, that's a huge advantage. For example, if you're down to 2 options, you now have a 50% chance. Way better than guessing out of 4. Manage your time like a pro. Make a rough time plan. At the start of every test, figure out how much time you have. For example, 60 minutes, 1 minute per question. 30 questions, 2 minutes per question. Use the mark and return strategy. Don't let one question fall through. Let's recap the 5 traps that students fall into when answering MCQs. Number 1, thinking all wrong answers are clearly wrong. Number 2, rushing through and missing keywords. Number 3, getting distracted by similar or confusing answers options. Number 4, poor time management and getting stuck. Number 5, ignoring your instinct and overthinking. Multiple choice tests can feel intimidating, but they don't have to be. With practice and these strategies, you can improve your accuracy and confidence on test day. Remember, the answer isn't just about recognizing facts. It's about careful reading, elimination, and smart decision making. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more smart study hacks. Got a question on your own tip for mastering multiple choice questions? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.